Welcome to Well Crafted Studio. I'm here to help you live inspired and create with purpose. So let's get started. Today we're going to be using air dry clay to sculpt little ring and tea bag dishes. By using this template, you can find it at wellcraftedstudio.com. It's in the Creative Resource Library. You just have to go and download it and print it. So I have another video where I actually showed how to use the cloud and the heart templates. Today we're going to be using the tea bag and the ring dish. The ring dish has two shapes, as do the tea bag. Okay, I've cut out my template. Now we're ready to roll out the clay. We're using Crayola's air dry clay. It's a white clay, comes in a little bin like this, and you can get it at your local craft store. It's a non-toxic clay, and it takes 2 to 3 days to cure depending on the thickness of your piece. I find that it's the closest that I've found so far of the different ones that I've tried to traditional clay that ceramicists use that's kiln-fired. I'm using a wooden rolling pin and a canvas surface. The canvas surface is absorbent, and so when you roll your clay out on it, it doesn't actually stick to it, and it absorbs some of the wetness, which makes it a little easier to work with. I want to roll my clay out evenly to a 1/4 inch thick. It's a little thin. It's okay. Now these little templates, we can actually place them and use a needle tool to cut around them. Or, since we're doing straighter shapes here, we're going to use this potter's tool. It's a straight edge tool. This is actually used for slipping, and we'll show that, just demonstrate that in a little bit. But this flat straight edge here is actually really good for cutting. So you just press straight down and follow the lines of the template. And we'll set that aside just to give it a little bit chance to dry a little bit more while we cut these other pieces. So this is the little thing that goes on the string that we put on tea bags, or that has on tea bags. And I rolled this out just a little bit thinner because we're going to be applying it, or applying it, I guess, but it's basically an applique technique. So if it was the same thickness as the rest of it, it would be sticking up quite a bit. We made it a little bit thinner, and that'll look nice. Okay, I'm actually gonna ball this up. When you're reworking clay, you want to squeeze it and press it, because we're trying to get those air bubbles and cracks out and make it into one solid piece again. So pressing it like so is called wedging it. And again, I'm trying to roll it out evenly. Now for the ring dish, again, we can cut around this, but a better way to do it is if you have a cookie cutter that's about that same size. So, which I do. So I'm actually going to, it didn't go all the way through, which is totally fine. So we flipped it over, and then we're going to just gently press that out. Then I need one more piece. So I'll roll this out one more time. Then I have my gemstone piece. This one I actually made a little bit thicker. So when we cut the gemstone, we want it to look like a gemstone. And so one of the ways that we can do that is to hold this at an angle, probably about a 45 degree angle. And then slice through the clay. When I get to the bottom, this is kind of sloped like this. So I can just drag it through. And then we'll set that aside. Okay, this is actually a little bit bigger than I had intended. So I'm just checking it against the template. And just shaving that down a little bit. Okay, that's better. So I set that aside just to let it dry just a little bit. And now I'm going to look at those instructions that I'd written out. So this is what we want it to look like. So we're going to have to do a little bit of sculpting. So the first part we're going to do is this actual little place where it looks like it's folded over. To do that, I'm actually using a rubber paintbrush type tool. I'm just gonna press in the lines. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use the tool to gently shape that. I'm trying to get levels, so press this down a little bit so that the center part, which would be folded over, is higher than the rest of it. So I'm just going to press that away. Press this down a little. Now all this pressing could cause us to lose the shape a little bit of the tea bag out on the sides. It's getting wider. And so what we can do is reestablish that shape just by cutting it a little bit more after we get this to the point we want. So as far as the heights go, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of water and I'm smooth this out just a little bit so that we don't have the press marks. Just keeping in mind what that final shape should look like. So now I'm going to take that little bit of water again and I'm going to rub the edges. just so I can lose that kind of abrupt and harsh cut line. Then I'm going to take this shape that we have and do the same with that, just a little bit. And then in this dish with water, I have actually some clay too. So water mixed with clay is called a slip, and it's almost like a clay glue. So I'm going to take the back of this little piece and I'm going to scrape it with the rough edges here in multiple directions. And we're creating little score lines. And then I'm going to do it right where I want it to adhere it as well. I'm going to take a little bit of that slip, put it on the back, put it here, and then that is going to cause it to form together. So now you can see my marks a little bit over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and go around those. If I need a little bit more water to do that. Okay, I'm going to press here. To get that shape of that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw my little line. And then another little mark. And then we set that aside to dry. We can still do a little bit more tweaking to it if we'd like. And we're still going to shape it. Next is the ring dish. So for this, I actually have a mold, and I'm going to put it on here. And I demoed this in another video when we made little bowls. I'll link to that one in the show notes. But for this one, we're actually going to form the edges up a little bit. So we want the ring bowl shape, but we want it to look like a ring. So we want the round raised area around kind of a lip like you'd see on a plate. Now if this was stuck to this, then that would mean that the clay is too wet and we just have to let it sit aside. I think it's gonna come though. So we have the overall shape, but we're going to probably have to tweak that just a little bit by putting some small gentle movements and pressing with my thumb. Trying to keep the definition between this bowl part and the edge. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you as that dries just a little bit. So we have our shaped edges on the ring. Now it's up to us if we want to do any marks like so to further emphasize the diamond cut of our gem. Or you could go ahead with the end of the brush tool again and make it slightly smaller. But I think that looks good. So we're going to actually just cut that again at an angle and then drag the scoring tool across, and I'm going to fit it right here. So I'm going to score this edge as well. And then use that little bit of clay slip and adhere it. And then set that aside to dry. Okay, those pieces are drying. In the meantime, I have a couple others that I have already created. And so we're gonna glaze these. The glaze that I'm using is the Deco Art Triple Thick. It's a glossy glaze, and you brush it on. We're using a foam brush. You can use any soft bristled brush. We're trying to limit the brush strokes. So I'm going to brush it on. and I'm putting it on fairly thickly. It is somewhat self-leveling, which is one of the reasons I like it, but that does cause it to pool a bit as well. Especially in the middle if it's a shaped dish and on the edges. I'm not glazing the bottom of the piece. That's kind of the norm with regular kiln-fired ceramics as well. So that doesn't bother me. And there we go. You can do a couple more layers if you'd like. So these are the finished pieces. You can see that the glaze is a really nice glossy glaze. It looks a lot like traditional ceramics. They feel about the same, and I think that if you were to compare the two, this is the closest as I found to making it look like traditional kiln-fired ceramics. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and if you found it helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe below. And for more tutorials like this, visit wellcraftedstudio.com.